Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Champion Standard podcast. Uh, got a few things on the docket today. Please follow us or go to our website, championstandard.com, all one word, or follow us at C Standard OK. We're not uh, we don't have any premium content or anything like that. It's totally free website. Um, no clicks. We're not looking for clicks. That's not our thing. We just want to get on here and have fun for a little bit and hopefully have a little entertainment and um, just provide a little insight on what we know. So let's dive right in a little bit. Got a few things to talk about today. Not much on the OU recruiting front this week. Is a pretty quiet week. I know we're trying to pivot a little bit from losing Lole, so I think we're kind of in the market for another tackle, but that's kind of the only thing going on right now. I know there's a few high school commits out there too that we're in on as always. Uh, Spring
Yeah, I
sports.
think I think they're
Yeah, go
probably
ahead.
locked down. No, I think they're locked down now. I mean, I don't see them really adding any bodies there and replacing Lole or anything like that. I don't think there's anybody out there that's really worth their time. I mean,
Uh,
we could have made a 20-minute video on Brandon Lane and a 20-minute video on that Hutchinson kid and
mm-hmm.
clickety clickety click. No, we're not gonna waste our time.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having the Louisiana kid. Um, I don't know what the news is on him, but I wouldn't mind getting him. He had some pretty nice video. But yeah, you're right. We could go on and on about guys that aren't here yet. Spring sports this weekend. OU baseball teams up in Cincinnati this weekend for the season finale of the regular season up there. They won a doubleheader yesterday. They are just on fire right now. Winning series, winning the league. Uh, just really have a great team this year. So I'm hoping they can kind of carry that into the postseason. Uh, maybe they can make another run to Omaha like they did a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that would be nice. I know the Big 12 tournament starts next weekend, uh, and I don't even know where that's. I don't know where that's being played. I'm guessing Dallas possibly or something like that. But they're just really they seem to be peaking. I was going to say at the right time, but they may be peaking a little early.
Yeah,
you kind of want them to hit that pinnacle in the
yeah.
postseason, but they're playing good baseball, and maybe they're just a really good baseball team. So they're not peaking; they're just good, which is even better, right?
Right. No, that's great. Yeah. But
uh,
we just don't know yet.
exactly.
We're still waiting.
Yeah. So I'm excited about them. I probably don't follow them as close as I do the softball team sometimes, but Skip Johnson's got those guys playing really good this year, and I'm definitely keeping an eye on them. This last year in the Big 12. Speaking of softball, the ladies started the postseason this week. They started yesterday, beat Cleveland State in the regional, and then they moved on. They're playing Oregon right now. I got it pulled up. Looks like it's the bottom of the fourth. OU's up 2-1, so pretty tight game there. Um, OU's coaching staff is very familiar with the Oregon coaching staff. There's a couple of players on that staff there in Oregon, so the teams are very familiar with one another. Which I think Patty was a little bit not nervous, but you could tell she was like, they know us, we know them, kind of thing. So hopefully they can hang on here. I'd like them to get a couple more runs, and a 1-run lead's not quite enough in softball. So hopefully they can.
No, one run lead is never safe.
It
Never
never
safe.
no. I only feel good if like some teams up 5.
Right.
If you're up 5, a grand slam can't tie the game. So uh, so hopefully they can keep it going. If they win today, that puts them kind of in the driver's seat in the regional. Win today, and then I think they can win one tomorrow, and then they'll advance to the super regionals. which of course they'll host. And I think they'll maybe play. I want to say it's Missouri. Who is it? Okay, I think they'll play Florida State if everything holds true in the Super Regional. I think they're the 15 seed, if I'm not mistaken. But Florida State's not quite as good as the team we played in the championship series last year, but they're still, a decent team. So we'll see how all that plays out after tomorrow. Just win in advance, right?
Yep.
Want to bring up a little golfing news. I know we don't normally talk golf on here. I'm a big golf fan, and this is a major weekend. PGA Championships going on.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up yesterday morning, my phone went off. I look at ESPN, and it says Scotty Scheffler's in jail. Am I having a weird dream? Was a dream, just something random going on here? What is this?
I mean, this guy is the number one player in the world, and just before a major tournament is sitting in a drunk tank, most likely. And I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was crazy, and he's not the kind. He's really not a guy that's going to get in trouble with the law generally. Anyway, just a pretty good guy. Apparently, yesterday morning, I think it was about 6 a.m. He pulled up on a fatality accident. He didn't know. He could tell there were some cops up there. I don't think he knew the extent of it. He's pretty close to the entrance of the Valhalla Golf Club, and just kind of started to drive around and get into the median, and there were some cops there, and he's driving along, I don't know, not very fast, and I guess one of the police officers jumps on the side of his vehicle asking him to stop, and he was just kind of caught off guard, didn't know what was going on, and went a few more yards. It said he was dragging the officer. I don't know if that just meant the cop's foot was on the ground or what that meant. Finally came to a stop, and they arrested him, took him to the station. I guess he said, man, he was just shaking for about an hour because he didn't know what was going on. Everything happened so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even know what he did wrong, of course. And he said he had a nice conversation heading to the police station. They made him kind of feel at ease. Got there. It's weird seeing some of these guys and seeing a mugshot of them, because there's certain guys you really don't expect to ever see a mugshot of, and
they took mugshots of the guy.
Oh, there's a mugshot out there. I'll have to send it to you. Yeah, you have to process them. Just like they're. I guess there was 4 criminal charges. One of them was a felony, which was assault. 4 criminal charges, probably, driving in a median, disobeying the cop,
Holy wow.
There's so many laws that you can break, in a short amount of time, of course.
Sure. Dang.
But
okay.
The worst one being, assault, second degree, first degree assault of a police officer because he, kept driving or whatever. But I think he has an arraignment Tuesday at the courthouse, and I'm sure the charges will probably be all dropped and everything. But
okay,
just a crazy morning, and then he gets out of jail. I don't remember all the time here. I think he gets out of jail, let's just say 8:00, makes it back to the country club by 8:30 or 9, has a tea time at 10. So is able to get dressed, go practice a little bit, and goes and throws out a little 5 under round to like move into 3rd or 4th place. Just
wow,
what nice. A day. Yeah, the guy's got some mental toughness to be able to sit in a jail cell. He talked about doing his pregame stretching in the jail cell, just in hopes that he might get back to the course. So just some crazy events yesterday morning. But he's actually having not such a good day today. I don't know where he's sitting at, but I think he's over par and just struggling by his standards for sure. But hopefully he can get it back on track. Kind of rooting for him now that he had that happen this weekend.
Yeah.
So, there's I think Xander Schauffele is still in the lead right now with Shane Lowry, Colin Morikawa just a shot back right now. So that's where that stands.
Do you have any bets with Ed on this?
I do. We pick 8 guys every time there's a major event, and I have a couple of guys up top, Shoffley and Morikawa were a couple of my picks. It's just luck, He's got a couple of guys, a couple of shots back. He has Scheffler, but obviously he's struggling a little bit today. I was kind of worried about that earlier.
Right.
But yeah. Right now I'm leading a little bit with Ed, so hopefully I can take a little more money from him.
Good. There you go.
Golf will be wrapping up tomorrow, and then of course the Thunder, OKC Thunder Game 6 is this evening at 7:00. Kind of a rough Game 5 the other night. We came back home to Oklahoma City and just didn't throw out one of our better performances. I actually thought we came out looking like I don't know if flat is the right word, but we looked kind of comfortable, like we got back home and just kind of felt comfortable in our surroundings, like we didn't have to, put forth the effort kind of thing.
Yeah.
And start off kind of slow. And then just we can't seem to make the 3-ball this series, chalk it
Not
up.
last game.
No.
Yeah. Well, last game we finished 25% on the night, but I'm pretty sure the Athletic reported that we didn't cross 30%, but one time, like for like one possession, we were up 30. Like we hit a 3, we were up 30%, and then ever since that one possession in like the second quarter, we were below 30% for the rest of the game. It was something wild like that. I mean, they're
Right.
just, and you could tell. I mean, how many times are you going to pass the basket to the guy that's on the perimeter of the 3 and he's going to fake a 3 and just, he's going to fake a 3 and then drive inside, kick it out, fake a 3, drive inside, kick it out. I mean, they did in one possession late in the game, when they're trying to get something going, they needed a 3. They just had no confidence of putting it out there. I mean, Wiggins couldn't hit it. Holmgren, he's been off this whole playoffs, really. I mean, everyone just seems off. J-Dub seems off. I mean, they're all off.
Yeah. Dallas is making it look easy. They're getting these corner 3s, open looks. If it's not PJ Washington, it's Jones. If it's not Jones, it's Kyrie or Doncic or whatever. And then the other thing that I'm amazed of is the amount of alley-oops they get. I mean, it looks
just
like
behind them.
It looks like an all-star game. Guys are just free running the baseline, making one dunk after another. And I'm like, how are you giving up 3 balls and alley-oops like that? It seems like to me your defense would be able to take away one or the other.
Right.
But just very, very undisciplined defense. It's feels like from the Thunder. I feel like that's what's kind of costing them the series right now, and it's going to be an uphill battle to try to keep the series alive this evening in Dallas. That crowd down there is going to be hyped up and ready to go. And
I mean, if they lose tonight, it'll be for the exact same reasons they lost last game and the other games before. They're going to lose the offensive rebound battle. They're going to lose the second chance battle, and they're not going to be able to shoot the 3. I mean, that's what's plagued them. The 3-point game hasn't plagued them through the regular season, but the second chance points and the offensive rebounds have plagued them through the entire regular season. If they lose tonight, that's going to be the reason why, and that's going to what they're going to have to carry into off season on how to get better in that area. I mean, if you look at last game, I mean, they they tied him in a lot of different categories, whether it's blocks, steals, assists, turnover. Actually, we only turned the ball over 16 times, or 16, 6 turnovers last game.
Mhm.
Dallas had 14.
Mhm.
That was another thing when I noticed is like when things go good our way, whether it's we finally get that rebound or there is that turnover and we have an opportunity to go flip it back on the other side and try to take a little bit of momentum and expand on it, we don't do anything. We don't capitalize
Yeah.
on that opportunity.
Yeah.
Over and over again, we get something. There's something good in our hands. Destiny is on our side. It's our possession. And they just mess up over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
Yeah.
lucky in the last 2 games ago where we were battling, and all game long, we couldn't capitalize until it was that fourth quarter, 7-8 minutes to go. J Dub hit a 3. Chet gets a block, and then we're finally moving. And it feels like last game we were searching for it, and we couldn't find it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. We haven't been able to capitalize on anything. It feels like we start off slow, make a run every now and then, but we start in a hole. It feels like every game, and we're just playing catch up, you know. So, and we knew going in that Dallas, you know, had a lot of length and athleticism that we were going to have a hard time dealing with, but I didn't think it would be this much of a struggle. But it appears, you know, it's been that way. And I feel like when postseason rolls around, the game becomes more of a half court game. So the teams that do, you know, they are a little bigger and rebounding matters more and things like that in the postseason. We're just not able, you know, we can't grow. We can't get bigger overnight. You know, we have limitations. So hopefully they can just come out and be on fire, maybe shoot 45% from 3-point tonight. I think that's the only thing that's going to get us a victory and bring it back to OKC for Game 7.
Luka is going to have a hell of a game tonight. I mean, you know, superstars on elimination games in the playoffs always go off. And Luka's going to go off. Shea needs to go off. And then Shea needs to have a nucleus of players, whoever it is, that's going to have a great game. 3-point. They're going to have to play team basketball again. Chet's going to have to be defensive player of the game. Wiggins, Jalen Williams, I mean, Dort, they're all going to have to shoot threes because Luka is going to go on fire tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I mean, that's just what superstars do. They go off and they're going to be nearly unstoppable, and you're going to have to play a heck of a game to bring it back to Oklahoma City. I'm hoping that when we do our podcast next week, we get to talk about the Thunder moving on to play Timberwolves, right?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, I
don't know.
They look real good those first 2 games. Now, you know, Denver's fighting back, but yeah, it's a huge game. Huge game.
Yeah. No, I think they can. They just need a few things to fall into place tonight that haven't during the series. But I give them about a 25-30% chance to win tonight. You know, it's definitely stacked against them, of course. But you're right. Hopefully, we're talking about them next week going into the next round. But not looking good right now, is it?
No.
We wanting to talk a little postseason depth chart. I know we probably mentioned it on some prior podcasts, but I don't know if we've mentioned it since the spring game a whole lot. So I think we wanted to start diving into that a little bit.
All right, let's get into it. Let's get into our steak analysis of our offensive depth chart. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who wants some man meat?
I do. I want some man meat.
Michael,
the white would like your man meat.
well, then my man meat he shall have. Beef is what's for dinner. Who wants...
All right, let's do it. Yeah, let me go to our website here, and let me pull it up. Yeah, you've been doing this for quite a while. I remember seeing it years ago, and I was like, "What in the world? What is that?"
Yeah, it's like you with your dashboards. You like your dashboards. I like to just kind of keep up with the depth chart a little bit, just kind of see where we're at. It's even more so now that we're moving into the SEC. But
Let me see if I can zoom in here. There we go. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the offensive side of the ball. We're gonna go position group by position group, and we're gonna do a little fun game. Instead of just talking about these groups and trying to rank them, we're going to do something fun and different. We're going to rank these groups, and there's 5 of them, right? So we got quarterback, running back, receiver, O-line, and tight end. So that's 5 different groups. What we're going to do is we're going to rank them based on the best steakhouses in Norman. So the best steakhouse in Norman is obviously the Ranch, right?
yep.
I mean, that's elite. I mean, you're talking 48-day dry age porterhouse. You're talking about those Brussels sprouts with the blue cheese and the bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, you have to get the Brussels. They always got a special. They always got like the dry aged ribeye and everything. They've got some other great steak. I mean, when you go to Ranch, I mean it's the bee's knees. I mean, it is fancy. I mean, it just is. They make great cocktails. They got a great bar, amazing service. So that is the elite. So what do we name as the elite group? That is the Ranch. Then we've got the second, number 4. So we'll say number 4, not quite on the scale of the Ranch, not quite elite, but Saltgrass. Saltgrass is a great steakhouse.
Mhm.
Saltgrass, I mean, you can get some good steak at Saltgrass.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that to me, that is better than Outback, and it's better than Longhorn and that kind of same tier there. They've got, I'm pretty sure they got like a 36-ounce porter that you could share or not share if you're real hungry. And moving on to third, so we got our third, the Charleston's. Charleston's not quite what you would say a steak house, but it's a
Right.
really good restaurant that serves steak. You can get a filet, you can get a sirloin, and they'll run specials on prime rib and Hawaiian. I think they have got a Hawaiian ribeye right now. So not quite a steak house, but really good food. It's good. It's
Right.
not Saltgrass. It's not the Ranch. It's good. Like, it's a good steak. Coming down to like the 4th spot, Chili's. So it's going to be okay. I mean, it's not a steakhouse. Yeah. They don't have a filet. This is a group. This is a position group that's not a filet. This position group is not a ribeye. It's a good sirloin. It's a okay steak. It's going to come out the way you want it. You say medium rare, it's a sirloin medium rare. It's okay. It's consistent. That's another thing about Chili's. It's consistent. Then
you don't have to pay $50 for a nice steak there. So yeah.
Right. And the last spot we have is Golden Corral. So this is your after 4 p.m. You want to eat as much as you want. You go to the guy. He usually has got steaks piled up like a pile of flapjacks. You say you want medium rare. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get week to week.
Yeah.
You ask for medium rare one week, and it might be charred to a crisp.
You get what you get.
Yeah, you get what you get.
Yeah.
Week to week, you get what you get.
Yeah, $12.99 buffet. That's what you're getting.
Yep. Yeah. And so that's how we're gonna rank them. We're gonna rank them from the Ranch to Saltgrass to Charleston's to Chili's to Golden Corral.
So Can we only use these ratings once each for each position? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's
good.
do once each.
Okay.
And when we're talking about the whole room, we're talking about the whole room. We're not just talking about the players.
Yep.
We're talking about the coach,
Mhm.
and we got to think scheme too, because some, like we're talking coach, we're talking players, we're talking top end talent, depth, like the whole entire room.
Okay. I think I know the criteria here. Do you want to start us off, or do you want me to go?
Yeah. So how do you want to run through this from ranking from bottom up, or do you want to go from position group by position group?
Let's just go position group to position group, and then once you give your rating of the position group, I will turn and give my rating of the same group, and then we'll.
You want me to
on.
take the lead on the groups? Okay.
Either way.
Yeah. Okay.
I can do that if you want. I can throw a group out there. You can give your rating, and then I'll give my rating, and then we'll move on to the next group. So,
okay. Well, let's just start here at the top and work our way down.
Quarterback, huh?
Let's start with quarterback. So in our quarterback room, we've now got a new play caller, Seth Littrell. We got a new position coach, Seth Littrell. We brought in Casey Thompson, transfer. Gives you that veteran presence. You got the freshman, Michael Hawkins, who had a lot of great buzz in the spring. Looks a little bit ahead of some other freshmen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the Jackson Arnold, right? JFA.
Yeah, who's that guy?
Yeah, who's that guy? 5-star quarterback, Denton Geyer. This room looks really, really good. It just does. It looks awesome, in my opinion. I would put this at the ranch.
Oh,
and
wow.
This is elite.
You're throwing out your best rating right out of the gate. You sure you want to do that?
I know everyone that's gonna be listening to this are gonna be like, this guy is out there. He's one of the tinfoil hat guys. But hear me out here, okay? Going into we're going to the SEC, and yes, Jackson Arnold's gonna have some growing pains to go through, okay? But when you're looking at his total makeup as a player, and you're looking at his coach, Seth Littrell is awesome with working with quarterbacks. He just is. Going back to 2015, Larry Fedora quoted saying, Seth Littrell is a rising star. He knows how to get the most out of his quarterbacks. Period. End of story. He had a Marquise Williams at North Carolina in 2015. Inaccurate, bad processing. That kid broke 18 school records at North Carolina. He molded that offense to him. He ran the ball 150 times for 1,000 yards and almost beat Clemson. I like this room a lot. Is it going to be elite next year in 2024? Probably not. But I'm thinking.
But you said the ranch.
But it is like you cannot get any better than the pairing of Jackson Arnold and Seth Littrell. You just can't. Like if you look at the coach and the player, and then you've got the veteran presence of Casey Thompson, it's the fit. It's Jackson Arnold, the talent. It's Littrell, the coach. These two are going to be so damn good. It's a 48-day-old, a dry-aged porterhouse. It just is. It's going to take a little bit of time. But once it's done, it is going to be unstoppable. And I believe we'll see I'm hoping we see it this coming 24, 25. But I'm just saying, this fit right here is really damn good. And it's only going to get better with time.
Unstoppable.
Yes.
Heard it here first. Rob said they're going to be unstoppable. We're putting up 50 points a game.
No, don't put words in my mouth. No, I just like the fit, man. I just do. The ranch, like I said, it's elite. In Jackson Arnold, I know he hasn't thrown a pass and Seth Littrell hasn't made a call and all this different stuff. The fit, okay, the fit of the scheme, the fit of the player, the fit of the coach, it is aligned. And that is really, really important if you want to be successful. You have to have the players in the right system. You have to have the coaches that know how to be great teachers and how to mold an offense to his player.
Yeah.
This is a great room. I mean, and you got the veteran, you've got even freshman talent. This is a great, great opportunity for OU. It's the most important room in football. So it has to be good, and it will be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I may disagree with you a little bit on some of that, but I like a lot of the points you made. Are you done? Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I like what you said about Seth Littrell being able to mold his scheme to his quarterback. Whatever Jackson's strengths are, that's what he's going to, mold this offense around. And I agree with you. It's got a ton of potential. Just a ton of potential just because of those two things alone. And I know Venables actually brought Littrell in early, and I think he saw the writing on the wall with Levy leaving, and so he brought in Littrell to form those relationships early. And I think I read some things where Littrell and Arnold just last year had a great rapport with one another that first year together. So I agree with you. I'm not as high on this group quite as you are, but we're not far off. I got this group coming in as the second best group on offense. So I'm taking this group to Saltgrass. I like the overall talent. I just think there's some unknowns. There's a lot of fresh meat in there. If we're staying in the steak analogies here, there's some fresh meat in there that's really gotta age well here within the next year or 2 years. But you do have the Casey Thompson guy in that can just kind of steer the ship, if we need that veteran leadership. And then of course you got Michael Hawkins, who's as green as they come, but a ton of talent. I just think there's a few unknowns there. We, not by Jackson's fault, but he just didn't get the reps last year. And you can blame that on Levy. You can blame that on Venables. You can blame it on whoever you want to blame it on, but they didn't bring him up the way they needed to have him, prepared for this gauntlet of a season that he's getting ready to have. Now, they had the Alamo Bowl. He came out, to his credit, just slinging the ball over the field. Unfortunately, he slung it into a couple of Wildcat defenders. Those are just young growing pains. You would rather them learn that in a game that doesn't count, so to speak, as opposed to one of those games at the end of the season, where you have conference implications at stake. So you kind of want him to make those mistakes, learn from his mistakes. So hopefully he has. Hopefully, he is what we think he's capable of becoming. I know there's a pretty high ceiling on him. You see different ratings in the conference on quarterbacks, and he falls, I don't know, middle of the pack by most ratings. Is that fair?
No, currently, yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, yes. I mean, you've got Ewers and Dart and Carson Beck, and
they're always going to rate the guys higher who they have more film of, right?
Right.
who has done it on the field longer, who's more experienced. So they're going to get the higher ratings naturally. And then you have the young bloods, Jackson coming in, Nico out of Tennessee. There's probably a couple of others that I'm not mentioning, but those are the two young guys. And you really don't know how to rate them because you just don't know. You don't have enough evidence in front of you right now. And what's nice is Jackson and Nico get to prove it, the fourth week of the season against each other.
Mhm.
So we're
See,
going
the
to
other
find
guy
out.
the other guy you're thinking of is DJ Lagway of Florida.
Yes,
He's another
thank you.
5-star
Yep.
quarterback. So there's 3 guys that are in that 5-star category that are all going to be making their starts.
Yeah. So, no, great room. And I know we have a couple of coordinators in there, but we know Littrell is the guy that's working with Jackson the most, of course, to get him ready to run this offense. So, not quite the ranch for me, but still, there's nothing wrong with eating at Sawgrass. They got plenty of good steaks there, So,
Yeah. Yeah, I just, like I said, man, I just like the fit. I like the OC. I like the quarterback coach in Seth Littrell, and I know he's going to treat Jackson good when it comes to play calling and setting him up for success. And Jackson, he has a live arm, and his mentality is so much different than Dylan Gabriel's. Yes, he made some mistakes in the Alamo Bowl. A few of those are very, very correctable. And getting that bowl game experience was, he is going to take it, learn from it. But they were also using Levy's playbook. And I have to think that when they get into this year, that playbook, those play calls, a lot of that is going away that Levy did. And a lot of it's going to be layered. He's going to have multi layers of play calls versus Levy, who stuck to maybe surface level play calling and
bubble
it didn't
screens
really
and
do.
bombs, just bubble
Yeah,
screens and bombs, man.
and you can tell that Arnold is going to be really good. I just know he's gonna be good. Like, just wait on it. We're gonna do another one of these. We're gonna be doing a podcast every week, and I know when we get to after the Tennessee game and the Alabama game and Texas game and every game that he does good in, I'm gonna be saying, "I told you so." This kid's the ranch.
Yeah. I hope you're right. I hope you tell me that. I don't mind being wrong when it comes to that. But if you fast forward a year from now, there's a chance I'm giving him the same rating you are. I just need that year of evidence that I don't have yet. I know his potential. I just need to see it. I just need it on the field, in between, just in front of 80,000 fans. I just need to see it. So that's all.
Okay, you take the lead on this next group. Let's look at.
You just move down one.
Yeah, let's go down to running back. How are we ranking the running backs?
The running back room, and I like the fact that we differ on these ratings. It's no fun just to think the same thing. So I have this room. There's some good guys in the room. The room's probably better off than it has been in a couple of years. I don't, we've seen some flashes from Gavin Sawchuk, right? We got the transfer coming in. Caleb Hips has shown well in practice. Javante Barnes was banged up last year, so we haven't seen him, fully healthy. And then, of course, Taylor Tatum comes in here in a month or two. So, a nice, well-stocked room. I just don't know if we have that guy. I don't know if we have. I don't like throwing AD out there because that's not fair. But I don't know if we have, someone like a Mixon in this group just yet. That's just going to break one play after another. And for that reason, I've actually rated this room down. I know this may surprise you a little bit, but I got them, 1 out of 4. I have them going to Chili's.
Wow.
Yeah. For me, it's just not a room that quite deserves, some of the, don't get me wrong. There's a nice menu there, right? There's a good menu at Chili's. There's a lot
We're
to
focusing on the
choose from.
steak.
And
It's the
even,
steak.
I know.
I think
just
there's a
can't.
steak salad. Is that what you're referring to?
and
Steak
it's
with
not
some
bad.
greens.
Exactly. I went back and forth on this. I almost had them going to Charleston's, but in the end, I had them falling back to Chili's, and I just need to see. There was just a lot of injuries there last year. They're going into a conference where, real estate's going to be at a premium. If you don't have a back that's physical, speed, can catch out of the backfield, that versatile back. I just don't. And this is one of those things where I see 5 guys on the depth chart. I don't see one that's going to be the guy that's doing everything just yet. Now we have a good committee. You can mix it up a little bit, but I just don't see that guy yet. And maybe he's not on campus. Taylor Tatum was the number 1 running back in the country, correct?
Yep.
So, the expectations of him are he comes in and he should factor into the 2-3 deep being the number 1 running back in the country, right? In theory. So we don't know what we have there. This is the group that I definitely could see myself changing my mind on. Maybe that is too low right now, but that's just where it is in my mind. It kind of depends on another group as well, on how good this group is, which we can get into that here in a little bit. But I got them rated right now, at 1 out of 5 being the least. I got them sitting at 4, almost a 3, going to Charleston's, but I just need to see a little more right now. Otherwise, I'm eating at Chili's with these guys.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I rated the running backs at Charleston's. I really do like our running backs. And it does we got to watch what happens with Javonte Barnes. We need to hear more if he's healthy or not. But even if he wasn't, I still like the Sam Franklin ad, and I really like what we have in Caleb Hicks. His size and the way he moves is just not normal. And then Salchuk, I think Salchuk is going to be one of the better running backs in SEC. I think he's going to be in the top 4. He will be in the top 4 running back in the SEC. I think his
Wow.
Yes, he will be. Salchuk and a healthy Barnes would be a heck of a 1-2 combo. But like you mentioned, the SEC, you need to have at least 3 running backs to get you a ton of snaps and stay healthy. That's where I kept debating, because I almost put them out of Chili's too. But I'm banking on them being healthy, because Barnes, again, he was not healthy last year. He skipped one portal and skipped another. He could have easily left. They could have easily told him to leave. They didn't. And they slow played him in spring, and they're going to give him the summer. I have a feeling Barnes is going to be healthy. I think Salchuk is going to be healthy. And then you've got an ad in the transfer with Franklin. And then you got Caleb Hicks. That's not a bad, that's a good 4 back rotation.
Yeah.
I think Salchuk is going to be considered one of the better running backs in the league.
Tatum's coming in this summer, and you didn't even, you know what I mean? You're not counting on him, but
nope, I'm not. He'll be there.
That's just bonus if he comes
Right.
in and does something.
He's a cherry. He's a cherry on top. Littrell's going to run the football. Littrell is a old school mentality, physical and toughness on the offense, runs through the run game. He is not Jeff Lebby, who's going to try to manufacture yards with orbit motions and other motions and little this and little that. No, Littrell wants to establish the run game. His mental makeup is very, very similar to his mentor, Bob Stoops. You watch the game tape. He does not give up on the run game, period. He could be down 20 points in a game. He understands the importance of the run game. He's going to run the football. He's going to want his backs healthy. He's through the summer and through fall camp. I think we see this running back room get to at a minimum Charleston's. I almost put him at Saltgrass, but I was like,
Wow. Whoa.
I was
Easy.
like, I had to put. I was debating
Easy.
Chili's if they weren't healthy, and then I was like, Saltgrass, they're that good.
Dang.
I got to divide by
Wow.
2. We found ourselves at a spot of Charleston's. Yes, I believe in this room. I think they're really, really dang good. I think Salchuk is gonna lead the way, and then he's gonna have his 3 partners in crime pick up a lot of snaps with Franklin and Hicks and Barnes. And I think again, the fit when you've got an OC, a play caller that wants to get a downhill running game involved, and he's gonna stick to it, whether he's losing or not. That's going to put up big numbers for the running back room. Big numbers. So I say Charleston's at a minimum for the running back room.
Wow. Okay. And here's the deal. I'm fine with you being right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the running back room's studs. And you talked about it. We're grading the room, and as good as DeMarco Murray has recruited, development's just been okay.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if they produce if they got a good start last year, if those first 4 or 5 games, they actually had a genuine rotation and they were actually able to rotate guys, because DeMarco's not going to put guys out there that are not ready and they're not good at pass protection.
His rotations were very questionable at times, though, because there was guys healthy, and it was just and that could have been a product of part of Levy's schemes for all we know. We don't know.
Maybe.
But he just had some very interesting, I don't know. His depth chart would just change from one week to the other, and you couldn't really figure it out.
Yeah.
So
let's summarize here. So for the quarterback group,
Mhm.
I selected the top, the elite, the ranch.
Yep.
And you selected Saltgrass. Number
Correct.
2, great steakhouse. Great steakhouse. And then for the running back room, you went with basically the bottom second, Chili's, for the
Mhm.
running back room, as in
Mhm.
they're okay. And I went in the middle of the road, Charleston's, with Salchuk and Barnes being healthy and starting the year strong with an OC that's going to run the ball. Like, he's going to run the damn ball. I tell you that. Like, I can't wait when we go into next week and we start going into who is Seth Littrell. But okay, so not a bad start. Let's go into receivers. So you took the lead on the last one. I'll go ahead and take the lead here.
Yeah. So let's take a break here. Go check your meat.
Oh yeah, I gotta check my meat.
You got about 4 minutes, so go check your meat. I'm going to take a pee break, and then we'll jump into wide receivers after that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and running backs, I hope you're right. I hope they're not Chili's, Chili's guys at the end of the day. I hope they're more into that Charleston's group or whatever, even beyond. I think you mentioned Sawgrass too, but
Yeah.
so hopefully that running back room can come along and be a real strength of our team. But hey, I got a couple of updates here. Softball team. It is the top of the 7th. OU's up 6-1. Looks like we're going to hang on to this one, barring a huge collapse here in the 17th. Oh, 6-2. I beg your pardon, but as long as they can hold on here in the 7th inning, they'll go ahead and get the win and move on to the regional final tomorrow, which will be great. Just keep it moving. We're so used to just making it to the World Series, we just kind of expect it every year, you know. And quick golf update for you golf fans out there. Xander Schauffele's still the leader at 14 under. Shane Lowry had a great day at 9 under. So he's sitting at 13 under for the tournament. Colin Morikawa is also at 13 under, and then Justin Rose is 12 under as well. So 2 Europeans, Lowry and Justin Rose, have made their way to the top. So it's going to be a good old Ryder Cup battle tomorrow. It looks like for the championship in the PGA. So I guess moving on from the running backs, it looks like wide receivers next on our list here. If we're taking turns, I think it's your turn to rate the wide receivers.
So no, it's not my turn. It's your turn. I did running backs, didn't I?
No, you did quarterback first. I did running back first. So
all right, fine. All right, here we go.
I'll be happy to do wide receivers first. It doesn't matter to me.
No, it's okay. I'll go wide receiver. I was curious to hear where you ranked them.
Yeah.
So wide receivers, you see Oklahoma is on a lot of the preseason lists where they're in the top 1, 2, 4, 5, whatever it is. And looking at the SEC, there are some really good receiving corps out there. Tennessee's got a good one. I hate to say it, Texas has even got a good one too. Yeah, they do. Georgia, even losing Brock Bowers, has a good one. There's some
Brock
decent.
didn't count. He didn't count as the wide receiver core, did he?
Yeah, I mean, he's listed as a tight end, but come on, the way they used him, he was a receiver. If you're looking at countrywide, nationwide, Ohio State's been churning out receivers. Emeka Ogba is out there. He's going to be in a first round pick too. When you look at our receiving core, it's obviously led by our new transfer portal addition, Deion Burks. Jaden Gibson, he a junior now. He's still waiting. We're still waiting for his breakout year. Nick Anderson was my biggest surprise last year. He's really, really dang good at reading the leverages of corners and safeties. He gets open quite a bit. I mean, that Cincinnati game, he was running open all the time, and Dylan would see him or not see him, but he was open. Petaway is kind of my X factor of this group, and so is Andrew Anthony. Is Anthony healthy? Is he going to be able to play a full season? Is he going to be one of those guys that comes in mid-season? Petaway, is he going to be a guy that starts the season strong, or does he? Those are the two that I'm waiting for as an X factor to really make this room really, really good. But right now, I have it ranked as a second best or second as Saltgrass.
Okay.
Really good, really, really dang good. Could it be the Ranch? Yes, it could be. If you add it, if Petaway goes off, Andrew Anthony's healthy, this could be good. But I'm having my doubts on Andrew Anthony. I know. I mean, I'm hoping, but he might not be a guy that starts the season strong. We're talking. He being a contributing factor week 1, 2, 3, 4. He might not be ready until mid-season. Petaway, he's got the talent. It looked like from the spring game, they were trying to get him involved to do something, but a lot of the touches might go to Dion Burks, and because they're kind of that we've got them both listed at the Y. Dion's going to be on that field a lot, and Nick Anderson, and think he's going to have a great year. Jane Gibson, I'm still a little doubtful if he's going to make that group elite because I'm splitting hairs here between Saltgrass and the Ranch. So I haven't listed at Saltgrass. I think it's still going to be a great unit. And when I look at this, I see probably 2 draft picks as it stands right now. I mean, today in May 2024, there's 2, and Dion and Nick Anderson are going to eventually get drafted. Everyone else is kind of iffy. Does Anthony come back and get working on his draft stock? Petaway has all the talent, but does he actually make production? Is there production there? The other guy I like to watch and keep my ear to the ground is Brennan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Great out mobile. I mean, they were at speed, right? But he's had his own injury problems. But the reason why this sits at the Saltgrass is because Dion Burks and Nick Anderson, those 2, that's all you need to know. Saltgrass. Now, everyone else could push it to the Ranch, but I have right now Saltgrass.
Yeah. No issues there with your rating, but this is my best group of the offense, in my opinion. I know you had the quarterbacks for your best group, but this wide receiver group just jumps off the page for me. I mean, what do you not have? You have size, you have speed, you have versatility. It's just, you have everything you need. Depth. I don't know what's missing, and I get it. Anthony's coming off an injury, but I just feel like, and if you're telling me Dion Burks is going to keep Petaway from getting some snaps, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We saw Burks firsthand. We're sitting there watching him from the stands in the spring game, and we're like, why is there not a defender within 10 yards of this guy? I mean, he's the term SEC ready just gets overused, but if Dion Burks isn't SEC ready, I don't know who is. Between Burks, Gibson, Anderson, if that's your starters, and you have to relieve them with Anthony, Farouk, and Petaway, I'll take that all day long. And not to mention, here's the kicker. You have a quarterback that can get them the ball. Nothing against Dylan Gabriel. We loved Dylan Gabriel. But Arnold's just on a different level. He's going to get those guys the ball. We know Gabriel had his shortcomings when it came to the long ball. Well, I think we saw him. Didn't we see him overthrow Thompson or overthrow someone in the bowl game, which is hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the arm strength. I just think these guys are really going to come into their own. You talked about Littrell, playing to Jackson Arnold's strengths. I think whatever happens with that is just going to show up with the receivers. These guys are just going to be, the running lanes are going to be wide open with these guys in the secondary. I'm just really excited about this group. I think it's the Ranch all day long. I could make an argument it's just Sawgrass, but these guys to me are the ones that jump off the page and have the experience and the depth and the versatility compared to every other room on the offense. So that's my Ranch. That's where I'm going to eat tonight, is with these wide receivers.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the group. I just worry about Anthony not being ready to go, and Gibson not taking that next step, because Gibson hasn't taken that next step yet. He could, and the odds are he will, but those are the two. And then I'm hoping that maybe they get Brendan Thompson more involved. And they obviously, when you looked at the Alamo Bowl, they were all about trying to push the ball downfield vertically with success, and they want speed. And it's not a coincidence that they chucked balls downfield to Thompson, and then in the portal window opened up, their very first target was Deion Burks, who's another speed guy that wants to put, you could push the ball downfield for. And if you've got multiple guys with Nick Anderson and Thompson and Burks that can push the field vertically and really attack the vertical plane on the field and get those defenders backpedaling, it opens up your run game. So, no, it's a great group. I don't think we didn't
even mention the two freshmen, Kearney and Carry On, who
right
have came in and looked great. So I think that wide receiver room, I hate to say it, but looks about 10 deep if you look at it across the board. So the depth there is just something we haven't seen in years,
Yeah, if Andrew Anthony, we get into fall camp and he's starting and he's taking snaps, and you're able on week 1 to have an Anthony, an Anderson, a Gibson, and a Burks as your top 4 receivers, I might change mine to the ranch. But
it's comparable to I forgot the receiving cores that you named, in the SEC, but it doesn't take a back seat to too many. Just looking at it on paper,
Yeah. Yep. So let's move into our next group.
There's a lot of guys here.
So this is the O-line group.
You highlighted a lot of guys there. So
yeah.
I guess I'm up first, right? So,
yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So this group, I know we lost a ton. I think we looked at it earlier, in one of our earlier podcasts. I think we lost, 7 guys? Just at the top of our head. I know we lost.
No, it was 9 guys and
4 starters.
3,800 snaps. 36 to 3,800 snaps and 9 guys.
So this is a totally revamped line. I guess the 2 guys that are really coming back are maybe Jake Taylor and Jacob Sexton, right, from last year, that have any meaningful snaps. Everybody else is either transferred in or, a younger redshirt freshman, sophomore. I think there's some, I don't even know what the starters will be. I know Branson Hickman, came in from down south. He'll probably be a starter. Nwewu's getting a lot of look. I think I saw where Sexton, Taylor, and Gary and Hatchett. Maybe that's your starting 5 if we were to start a game today. Is that fair?
Yep.
So I may have 2 of those guys. I need to move Ozeta and Hatchett around a little bit here on our depth chart. But
sorry.
Let me get. Yep. But this group here, I just kind of have is middle of the road, so to speak. Charleston's. You don't have the high end guys, maybe like you do in the wide receiver and quarterback rooms. But the reason I have this group 3rd best is because of the chef in the kitchen, also known as Bill Bedenbaugh. The chef can do a lot. Sometimes, he can add a little extra butter on some of those steaks sometimes to make them taste better.
Some garlic butter compound and some red wine demi-glaze.
Yeah, and a little salt on top of it too. Never hurts anything, But no, I think this group, goes, 10 deep, of course, with the transfers and the incoming freshmen. Of course, Troy Everett's out. Bates was having trouble a little bit with some snap issues in the spring. So Hickman comes in and automatically makes that room a little better. I believe in Bedenbaugh. I just do. He's never put out a suspect offensive line. I don't feel like the last, 6-7 years, he's always been able to work with what he has. And I think he has a lot to work with. They're going to have to go up against some of the best now. Those guys in the SEC on the defensive line aren't nothing to sneeze about. But I just believe in him. I think he'll have these guys ready. Will we have, 10 guys deep ready for the season? I don't know.
No.
But I know we'll have a good starting five that'll be versatile. There's obviously some guys that can move around. That's what I love about Bedenbaugh is he'll try guys out at 2-3 different positions, and especially during the spring, it's just all about experimentation and finding out where these guys really can make a difference. But I'm excited. Wee Woo, Taylor and Sexton. I hope so. I know there's, one of those, there's high expectations for as far as like being in the draft here in the next couple of years. And then the guards, I guess for me, the guards are kind of where the question mark is. I just kind of need to see it to believe it kind of thing. Wee Woo's proven, but I'm just not sure about that other guard position. There's 2 or 3 guys there we'll see how that pans out in August, I guess, before the season starts. But yeah, I kind of have this group. I'm going to say middle of the road for the offense, but which is okay considering they lost 9 guys, which we just talked about. So that's where I have them right now.
Yeah, so I've got them ranked Chili's as far as looking at the offense. I think the word is going to be consistent, but the ceiling isn't going to be quite there for this year. When you look at the other groups I have ranked, the quarterback I got ranked at the Ranch, and then the receivers at Saltgrass and the running backs at Charleston's. The O-line group, I don't see today in May a first, second, or even really a third round pick out of this group yet. I think this coming year is going to be a lot of learning and a lot of experience that they're going to have to gather. But I also don't think they're going to be terrible in the SEC. And I don't think they're going to be even just slightly above middle of the road. And so I went with Chili's because we've got so many new names and faces. We're breaking in, 4 new starters, technically 4.5, because Sexton only played like really 4 genuine games last year. So it's like we're breaking in an entire new O-line. I don't see the ceiling there being more than a middle of the road O-line, which is fine. You can still win a lot of games with the middle of the road O-line. Like, I'm not saying we're going to be terrible and they're just going to be completely abused. You mentioned Coach Bedenbaugh. Bedenbaugh is very, very consistent in the way he makes his offensive lines. Okay, he knows what to ask for them and when. And I think Chili's is actually not a bad spot for them, knowing that the position groups around them are going to be very good. Jackson Arnold is going to make this O-line look really good. The receivers, the running backs, or a healthy running back room will make this O-line look better than what it is. Is there a filet? No. Is there a ribeye? No. Is there a chili sirloin? Yes. Are they going to cook it properly? You ask for medium rare, you're going to get medium rare, and that's what you're going to get out of this offensive line. Consistent. I don't think they're going to be, just top 3 or 4 in the SEC. There's some really good offensive lines. I'm not going to mention them today because it'll just make us mad. But this group is really good. It'll be good. It'll be a good group. It'll be middle of the road good. And there's a lot. It's just, Bedenbaugh is just this is a lot. This is a big turnover because you're not usually having to bring in 8 or 9 guys. Yeah, so the O-line, we've got 5 transfers into this O-line, and I'm a big proponent of program bred ascending talent and not having to pull, from the transfer portal. I mean, we've got 5 transfers from SMU, North Texas, Washington, USC, and Michigan State. Not exactly the places that are historically known for building great offensive lines, anyways.
Right.
And Gary and Hatchett, I like Gary and Hatchett. I like his brother too. Those two, I mean, Hatchett looks, I want him to win the job. I mean, right now we've got him listed on the depth chart behind Ozida, but you usually want to have these ascending talents, guys that are freshmen, sophomore, and they just keep getting better. You're not having to pull from the transfer portal. And I think Bedenbaugh has just an incredible task in front of him. And Coach B is going to earn his paycheck this year.
Mm-hmm.
This is a year when you're rebuilding not one, but 2 offensive lines, line 1 and 2, A and B, and going into the SEC where you're going to be compared to the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Tennessees and the Ole Misses and all those others. This is going to be his greatest season. And I think today in May of 24, sitting at Chili's saying they're going to be okay and they're going to be consistent. We want them to be consistently good. I think that's a win. I think it's a win for OU in this situation.
Yeah, and I will respectively disagree a little bit with you on the homegrown, young talent that we develop. Because in my opinion, the Caden Green thing had nothing to do with Bedenbaugh. That was all, dad looking for dollars. So if you look at our roster here in front of us, I see Sexton, Ozada, Taylor, Bates, Brooks, Akinkumi, Howland, and EPL, who hasn't made it on campus yet. So, I agree with you. He has his work cut out for him this year. But I just think between the way recruiting's going and these guys coming in, I just think there's some, some young talent on campus. And you're right. He's got to mold these transferred guys, get them up to speed. The one thing I feel about offensive line is when it comes to getting up to speed with the new scheme, I don't feel like blocking is blocking. I don't feel like it's as difficult as it is other positions. That's just, maybe I'm completely wrong because I never played football. I've never played the position. But
I was just thinking SEC, those defensive guys are going to be a little bit harder to displace in Big 12.
I agree, but as you and I talked about in some of your dashboards and things, OU rates pretty high on the offensive line and have historically. I know we'll get into that later, but I don't know. I'm just not worried about these guys' ability to block. Are they going to get beat by some superior NFL talent in the SEC? Yeah. We're going to see some guys, blow up the line, get to Arnold a little bit and that's going to be tough to watch at times. But I'm not, completely discouraged on this offensive line just yet. But I'm with you. There's definitely some reason to be concerned. So
Yeah,
we share those thoughts. Yeah, for sure.
I'll say this for a little perspective for our audience. When I say Chili's, when you look at OU versus OU's offensive line situation versus Missouri is a dumpster fire, even with Caden Green. If I was rating Missouri, they would be
it's
below.
It's pronounced misery, not Missouri.
All right,
just so you
all
get
right,
it
sorry.
right.
I apologize. Misery. They're in misery for the offensive line. Like, even with Caden Green, they're not going to field a better offensive line than OU. They're just not. South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, none of them are.
Please don't mention Vanderbilt in the conversation anymore.
I'm just saying that we're like, the standard here is a little bit different than those other schools. So
Agreed.
when we're looking at,
Yeah.
we're comparing our like subset of our depth chart of our own position groups. If we really expanded this out to like, yeah, I mean, Missouri's in trouble, South Carolina's in trouble. I mean, but there are also some good offensive lines. But I have them rated on Chili's. I think there'd be a good, consistent group. I have no doubts in my mind. Bedenbaugh is going to get these dudes ready to rock and rumble. And when the time comes, and Sexton's a junior, and Taylor's a junior, and and Wee Woo's is a senior, like, they're going to be on some draft boards. But as of today, May, they're Chili's. All right, let's go to our last and final group.
All right. Tight end group.
End group.
Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've been to the buffet yet.
Not yet. We're about to get our fill.
We haven't went to the buffet yet. So this group, obviously, if you've been keeping score, we've rated the Ranch, the Saltgrass, the Charlestons, and the Chili's. You haven't heard the word Golden Corral out of our mouth yet. Well, here it comes. This group, I don't know how you can rate it anything other than Golden Corral. And this is not any slight against Bauer Sharp, Jake Roberts, Devon Mitchell. This has just been a problem for our offense for the last couple of years. We just haven't had that guy at tight end, that really has been noticed. I mean, we get a Stogner the ball every now and then. We had a Braden Willis a few years ago, and I can't remember who was there before Stogner came in a couple of years ago. Then his name's escaping me right this second, but we just haven't had production from that group. And when I say production, someone that's willing to move the chains consistently, someone that you can look for in the red zone consistently. And I'm just going to keep using the word consistently. We've heard a lot of great things in the spring about Bauer Sharp. But I know you feel the same way I do until I see it in, late August, early September. I just need to see production from that group. I'm hoping with, the addition of Bauer Sharp and, of course, Devon Mitchell, one of the higher rated tight ends in the group, that the combination of bringing these guys in, you have Littrell, the co-offensive coordinator, Joe John Finley, former tight end. You just hope they can utilize this group better. It's a seeing is believing thing right now at this point. Somebody has to get the lowest grade, because that's what we talked about. We were going to give somebody a high grade all the way down to a low grade, and this group just happens to get it. I know we have. I know. There's potential there. We just both want to see it. So we'll see what happens when the season kicks off. So.
Yeah, I rated this group Golden Corral as well. 4 p.m. open all you can eat buffet of steak. And you mentioned inconsistency, right? So at Golden Corral, you got the guy, and he's sitting there, and he's got a deck of charred meat pancakes, and you're asking for medium rare. You might get medium, you might get rare. He doesn't know. He's just handing you a steak. And I think that's what we're going to kind of see week to week. I think week to week, we're not really going to know at all are the tight ends going to do something good, or are they going to disappear?
Here's what we ordered. I'm not sure if that's what's going to come out on the plate.
Right.
Yeah.
From the film that we've watched, Littrell likes to use big body tight ends. There's he creates specific roles for them. It remains to be seen if some of that is going to be what he uses at OU. But Bauer Sharp, all the talk in spring practices, getting the spring game, doesn't really do much. Jake Roberts, he's there, didn't really do much. Davon Mitchell, huge recruiting win, right? Everyone thought, oh, big recruiting win. He's third on the depth chart. I don't remember. I can't recall any third tight end having any impact for any team in college football. Like, no one says, oh, look at that guy. He's the third tight end for that school. Like, he's talented. He's young. He's 17, isn't he? I mean, he's a young guy, right?
Yeah. He redeclared. I want to say he's 7. I think he's a junior.
Yeah. So he's a young.
Yeah,
he's a young guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not doing anything. This is the Bauer Sharp, Jake Roberts show.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna end up having very defined packages, very defined roles. Whoever can block the best is probably gonna get on the field, and that's it. You're gonna go up to the guy and be like, "Please, I'm hungry. Give me a steak. I'll take a medium." And the dude will just grab from his pile of meat food and charred stuff and just throw it at you and be like, here you go. Have yourself a steak for your $15 for your buffet. We don't know what we're going to get. So
No.
I'm hoping that Sharp can be a blocking tight end. I would really like to see a blocking tight end. I know that's like, whoa, what? We've got plenty. You rated the receivers at Ranch. I rated the receivers as assault graphs.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be fantastic to have a tight end running down the seam 40, 50 yards and score an 80-yard touchdown? Sure. But I think today, Golden Corral group needs just to find a defined role and just block people. Just move, displace blockers. Let's run the counter. Let's run some power. Let's run some pin and pull. Let's just have them just a specific role and roll it with it. That's it.
Yeah, and here's kind of the wild card with that tight end room is Levy didn't utilize the tight end. Neither did Dylan Gabriel. Right? So, whether that was the coach, the quarterback, or whatever, you may have both a offensive coordinator and a quarterback that's willing or, is comfortable throwing across the middle, getting this guy the ball and moving the chains, scoring in the red zone, whatever it may be. So that's the big wild card that is going on here is we just don't know. We've heard some things in the spring, with Sharp scoring and Arnold, looking for him a lot. I hope that's the case and that continues. So, but we just haven't seen it the last couple of years. And I know it's just been a kind of a void on the offense, so to speak.
Right.
So,
and tight end, I said it before, and actually I think it was our first episode. Tight end is the best friend to a quarterback. Quarterback's best friend is a just a huge target in the
Yeah,
middle of the field.
ask Tom Brady if a tight end matters.
Right. I mean,
You know what I mean?
but we just haven't. And you're right. Does Littrell tight ends coach for several years? Like he was, man, I forgot what school he was in. Tight ends coach, multiple years. JJF tight ends coach, several years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense that they would go into this coming year and be like, yeah, Levy basically just, threw this tight end into the garbage, like this tight end room into the garbage. They didn't do anything with him. It makes sense that you got two coaches that are co-OCs with all the
Right.
history of tight end. Take some pride, pride to be like, let's get this group doing something, let's get it rolling.
Yeah.
But right now, today, it's just we're wait and see mode. It really, I mean, if you're looking at those lists of 3 names, it's Bauer Sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it falls on this southeastern Louisiana guy transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. And I mentioned Tom Brady, relying on Gronkowski. I mean, I don't have to sit here. We know your true love, or one of it's Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
If Mahomes didn't have Kelsey, where would they be? Right? So
number 1. No, you're right. No, I mean,
yeah,
I do know. And that should just say that there is opportunity here in this room to be so much better. There really is. And Travis Kelce was like a 2-star recruit. Okay, he was not anybody or anything at all. At Cincinnati, he wasn't really anything. He didn't develop until he got into the NFL. And if you're looking at this entire offense, the tight end room has definitely the most opportunity to grow and be so much better, to be so much great. I mean, there's so much opportunity here to make an impact on the offense. They've got the quarterback. They've got a crazy depth at receiver. They've got one of the best O-line coaches in the league who's developing O-line. What about the tight end room? Let's not forget about it. And that's what you got, Davon Mitchell, which is great. We need to keep double downing on it. We got it. There has to be some more involvement in the play calling. There has to be development. And then we could see something really special there. I love the tight end room too. I mean, Sam Bradford and Jermaine Grisham. Like, oh man, just awesome.
That was 16 years ago. What I'm saying is we haven't seen that in a long time, and
I know
we just need it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I guess Mark Andrews. That's that last best OU tight end that I can think of. Not to take it away from the other guys, but yeah, he's doing all right for himself there in Baltimore. So
yeah,
no, so sounds like if the tight end room can produce, the O line can come together just from all of our ratings that we had. That this offense can be. I think somebody said the other day, this offense has the ability to, be top 20, if it can be top 15, top 10 next year, then who knows what's in store, because, we're expecting top 20 out of our defense, of course. I know we'll look into the defense. Yeah. I think next podcast or so, we may go over the defense like we did the offense here.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do defense here in a few weeks. We've got a lot of content that's starting to bottleneck now, defense. But let's summarize here.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Golden Corral. We both said tight end group.
Yep.
Chili's, I said O-line. You said running back.
Yep.
Charleston's, I said running back. you said O-line.
So we flipped those there.
Yeah, we did. And then Saltgrass, I said receiver, you said quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And at the ranch, I said, give me that quarterback. You said receiver.
Yeah.
So we flipped
Yeah,
those two.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't sound like you and I are like far off necessarily. We just there's a few groups that we like a little better than others. So
Yeah, I really do. I really do think Jackson Arnold's going to have a great year. I really do. I think he's going to be at the end of this season. He's going to be top 3, 4 in the SEC, and I think a lot of people will see what Arnold and Littrell are really made of and what this Oklahoma offense could be. And that's why I put both of them, because we said at the beginning, like players and coaches,
I know.
give me Seth, Littrell, and Arnold. Give it. I don't want Dart and Kiffin. I don't want that crap. I don't want Brian Kelly and the Garrett Newsmeyer. I definitely don't want Sark and Sewers. Okay, like no, like give me Littrell. Littrell, man. Oh, we'll wrap this up, but like Seth Littrell, listening to him speak, man, he is a coach's coach. He is a coach's coach, man.
And I know you can have your own podcast just to sit here and talk about Arnold. So we don't have to sit here and do that necessarily. Once we do that podcast, let me know, and I'll just sit back here and just have a drink in my hand and just listen. But I'm with you. I just have, of course, I'm with Arnold. I know the ceiling's high, and I just have to temper my enthusiasm a little bit, especially with Arnold going into the SEC. He's just, the cards are stacked against us a little bit between the schedule and just having such young talent. But I know here, end of October, we can be singing a different tune thanks to JFA and others. So,
right.
I hope you're right. Yeah. So that kind of concludes our podcast today. Please go visit our website, championstandard.com, all one word. There's some good content out there. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram or whatever at cstandardok.com. We got a lot of content coming our way. There's a lot of guests coming our way. We just have, we're going to try to have a really busy summer before the season starts. So please follow us or like us or whatever. Until next week, Boomer Sooner. Thanks.